So hello and welcome back to episode number 16 of the Road to Cheltenham Challenge with myself, Barry Doyle and Andrew Blair-White. I suppose it's doom and gloom the last couple of days. The Gordon Elliott story has taken over, just weeks away from the festival. It's crazy times we're living in.
Yeah. Look, it's not a good story. There's no getting away from it. It's pretty bleak. It's not acceptable. It's not justifiable. And it leaves, like, even from a completely selfish point of view, from Ante-Post backing, it leaves us completely in the dark. What's going to happen with these Gordon Elliott horses? Is he going to be able to have runners over at Cheltenham? Will the owners stick with him? There's been snippets of rumours going around, but we haven't heard anything concrete. The sooner these things get ironed out, the better. But I'm sure I speak on behalf of many saying it was completely unacceptable, and to be honest, whatever sanctions are administered, they will be justified.
Yeah, I think when the news broke, obviously first, I think I actually texted you thoughts ? And you're saying avoid speculation, but obviously a lot has happened since then. As we've had statements, and we still haven't, of course, had a statement from the IRHB, but there's a couple of different things, I suppose, bouncing around in my head when it comes to it. But the thing that stuck out for me was the BHA. I mean, especially knowing what's happened in Irish racing over the last, I suppose, number of weeks, I felt as though their timing, I thought it was pretty early now, their statement, and it almost, was it backing people into corners? Listen, I don't know. The picture itself was, I couldn't believe it was true when I saw it first. And of course, racing Twitter went into absolute uproar, and this matter has to be dealt with, and it will be dealt with. But it was just adding fuel to the fire, in my opinion. I don't know, like, what stuck out for you?
Somebody's having a real go where this isn't just a mere coincidence that we're here within 2 weeks of Cheltenham and this photo suddenly doing the rounds. This, as I say, this is an old photo. It could have been released at any stage. So this is a bit of a planned attack. Now, there's absolutely no excuse for the photo itself, but there has to be investigations into where this is coming from, because it's just not good in any way. The whole thing stinks. From the person taking the photo to Gordon himself to the person who's now leaking it, like, the whole thing stinks. And it puts racing in such a bad light. And we're here 14 or 15 days before Cheltenham. We should all be there with horse racing at the forefront of the papers for all the right reasons. And it's going to be now at the forefront for all the wrong reasons. We're going
to plow on with it. Last weekend, we do it at the start of every show. Performance of the weekend. Let's go. I'll give it to you.
Yep. A horse I like an awful lot. A horse called Jason the Militant won the rearranged Red Mills hurdle. He beat Petit Mouchoir, giving him £9 and gave him a fair beating at that. The key to this horse is heavy ground, though. He's in the champion hurdle. I wouldn't begrudge them running in the champion hurdle personally. I know Peter Michael's quite a vocal man on Twitter, and he's got his opinions, but he seems to be certainly 60% favouring going to the champion hurdle, and I couldn't begrudge them from doing it. It would need to be softer ground on the day. I just think with this horse, I actually put him up at the start of the season as a horse to watch. I thought he was going to go novice chasing this year, but they've obviously decided to keep him over hurdles this year. I can't wait to see this horse jump a fence. He's some nimble hurdler on him. Like, I just think he's got every earmark of being a really promising Henry de Bromhead 2 mile novice chaser. I think he's a lovely horse. Whether he wouldn't win a champion hurdle this year, there's no getting away from that, but it was a lovely performance, and especially when there's not many Cheltenham horses now running on the weekends, he was certainly what topped the bill from the Irish action, I believe.
Yeah, one from Kempton on Saturday, sure, goes without saying, really, isn't it? The English held their hand up for the Triumph hurdle with Tritonic. I suppose he hit a bit of a flat spot in running, certainly did, and they went a fair pace. But I suppose when this horse latched back onto the bridle, I thought under Adrian Heskin now, he He looked to have a fair engine. It looks like staying as his game. Interesting, actually, was Megan Nichols was speaking before the race. The horses by See the Moon, and she reckoned that this See the Moon is going to start producing. You're going to start hearing a lot more about See the Moon as a sire. But the performance itself, he absolutely, when he got into overdrive, he hit the line extremely hard. You just wonder, I suppose, would Cheltenham suit? I've heard that even before his last start in the Adonis. So maybe a slight question mark there, just his style of race and the fact that he did hit a bit of a flat spot. And a shout on, I suppose, to yesterday, I suppose Jerry Kalam was mighty at all in the bumper. Thought he was impressive. And Echoes and Rain for Willie Mullins. Do you know what's going to happen, Echoes and Rain? We're speaking potentially to Cheltenham after the race, but she pulled very hard. She actually took a lead on this occasion, Andrew, in the novice hurdle at Naas yesterday, which is, I suppose, it was a bit of a different tactics, and I thought she was bloody mighty, Andrew, and again hit the line very hard. And at Naas, stiff finish again. It's not too often you see horses win like that at Naas. I thought she was quite smart.
Yeah, no, I thought she was very impressive. They're not going to run her over in Cheltenham. I think Willie Mullins has actually taken her out of the race before Naas, because she is a buzzy filly. She certainly has been. She looked a different filly, I thought, on the weekend. Now, she looked like she'd matured a fair bit. And as you say, she took a lead. Now, they did go a decent gallop out in front, which would have helped, but she looked almost uncontrollable when she ran in the Moscow Flyer under Danny Mullins.
She looked uncontrollable going to post under Paul Town, and that's what I picked up. And it was funny. She was like a lamb in the paddock. Kevin O'Ryan was saying, and watch this thing go to post, and give Paul Town an awful hard time going to post. So, she's kind of sweated up a little bit as well. I thought just prior to the off. So I thought it was impressive. Wasn't expecting her to win as well.
No, it was very good indeed. I thought it was interesting in that race. You had obviously Streets of Doyen for John McConnell, who was having the mother of all pipe openers for the Albert Bartlett. He was off the bridle after around a furlong. He sticked at it. I think he finished 5th or 6th in the end. He'd be one that might run okay in the Bartlett at a bigger price. He probably suits some of the trends and the stats if you're that type of inclined. And I don't think the Bartlett's that great a race this year, to be honest. So he might be one to just look out for in that race as well. Obviously, you had Silas Emery in the Grade 3 chase. Silas Emery's just not a horse that's ever done it for me. And he just seems to be the king of sweeping up these tin pot Grade 3, Grade 2s. And you always throw him into a Grade 1 race and his jumping falls apart. And I know some people were eyeing him up for will he have an E-Trade chance in the Champion Chase?
Get off it.
Yeah, and I'm there going, really? The horse just can't jump at Grade 1 pace. He got a complete solo out in front, beating Daily Tiger, who's a handicapper. Nothing else in
the music to your ears, Andrew Blair-White.
He's like a What's that, Barry?
I said it'll be music to your ears, Andrew Blair-White. I don't think they'll see which way Shaka and Poursois goes.
Yeah, exactly. I just think Silas Emery, he's like a slightly better version of Bacchusson. It's just these small field Grade 2, Grade 3s in Ireland, he'll keep sweeping up, but he's already had his frailties put under pressure in championship races before.
Absolutely. Well, this week, Andrew Blair-White. How many times did I say Andrew Blair-White so far? I'm conscious of it now after reading the comments 2 weeks ago. I think I pulled back a little bit last week, but it's the turn of the Stairs Hurdle. And I'm going to give you a quick show of betting. 1 Paisley Park, Tyne Hill 7-2, Sire de Burley 8-1, Champ 10-1. Hope that doesn't happen. 8-1 Roxana, Flooring Porter 14-1, 40-1 Kenboy. Don't think that's the route he's going now, even though it was mentioned. Beacon Edge 20-1, 20-1 The Storyteller, Listnagar Oscar 20-1, MacFabulous, who was disappointing at the weekend, 25-1. And it's 25-1 best price there as well for Fury Road for the Elliott team. So you might give us your thoughts. We know what you're going to say here, but just say it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I'd absolutely love to be a fly on the wall in your house if Champ runs into Stairs Hurdle rather than the Gold Cup. But no, that's not going to happen. I think the top two in the market here are pretty strong, personally. I think that the form is pretty decent throughout the year. Obviously, they had McFabulous well held at Newbury. Then they went and beat Roxana at Ascot, well clear fourth. Roxana's franked that form since as well. I think they're very good. I'm hoping Time Hill just might have a few more gears than Paisley Park. And just if the race was ran very similarly to last year, Flooring Porter's in, there's a couple other front runners in there as well. If they go off hard out in front, you might just need a hint of tactical speed. And Paisley Park has very little amounts of that, I don't believe. I think they'll ride Time Hill for a turn of foot. They won't kick on too far out with them like they did at Ascot, because it just gives Paisley Park a target. And the way to get Paisley Park beat is to not give them a target to aim at. And I think if they're almost jumping the last as one, I think Time Hill would actually outspeed him up the hill. Sarda Burley seems to be a horse that quite a lot of people like. He's never been a horse for me. I know he's won the last 2 Pertemps, and the form of the Storyteller is very good from last year's Pertemps, but he's just a bit lethargic at times and can race very lazily. And I just don't know, in a properly run Grade 1 like the Stayers Hurdle, he might be a bit found out. I don't know, that they were coy on Fury Road after Navan. I wasn't too disappointed with his effort. If he ran, I'd give him maybe an each way squeak, just following in on that Bartlett form from last year. But I've been keen on Time Hill pretty much all year, and I'm not going to desert him now.
Yeah, if you look at the betting, I suppose, if you were to get odds against Paisley Park and Tyne Hill, would you think it's value? In other words, couple them. You know, and that's what you can get at the moment. Some people might see that's good value, especially, I suppose, the way a lot of people are talking that they're doing them at the head of the market are rock solid. You obviously have Sarah de Burley. I can't wait for your reaction to this, Andrew, because I was tying with him to be a selection, but I think at this stage in the game, I need to get something a little bit more, maybe more solid in there. But the horse I would be absolutely all over non-runner, no bet. I'm going to get slated for this, but I don't care. Vindication, in my mind, has always been a horse that I could not wait to see over long distances, over hurdles. Can't jump fences. We might as well just say it here now. Went off a short to 6-1, I think, last year for the Ultima, off a massive weight. I think he was top weight on the occasion. He was my banker for day one at the festival. Ran an absolute stormer. Yeah, I just think it's very, very interesting if they go this route. Kim Bailey had said that this is the route he was likely to go if he didn't get a run into the horse over fences prior to the festival, which looks like that's the case. And he's shortened up on the machine. Like, I think he can get above 25-1 on the machine, but Vindication, I just think, like, it definitely looks a strong renewal. Like, you have a lot of deadwood in the middle there, and he still has potential over hurdles because he hasn't raced over hurdles since his novice days. So back in open company over hurdles, I think is interesting. I think you might see a good bit of improvement for him. As I said, he's a huge engine. Kim Bailey has always thought he's a Gold Cup horse, and that's my angle with Vindication. I just think there's a lot of deadwood in the middle there, as we say. I mean, you look down through it. Sarah de Burley, for me, yeah, it was impressive. Horses for courses, but I just think he might fall short at that level. Flooring Porter, not for me, was rated 119 and was beaten off that mark, I think, in Galway. Couldn't have that. I think Leopardstown, I can't see that being repeated. Look, he's probably improved all right, but it's a big ask, isn't it, to go in the Stayers Hurdle. Ken Boy, not going to go for the race. Beacon Edge had colic early in the season, has come back to somewhat bit of form, but couldn't have that. McFabulous doesn't go for the race. And you come down, Fury Road is disappointed this season, and next thing you have Vindication, who hasn't run for quite a while. I think he had a bit of a knock after the last run, but I just think at a big price, I could see there be support for him. I don't think if he lines up on the day, I don't think he's going to go off 20-1 or anything like that. I think he will shorten up significantly. I just think he might be a bit of value. I should really put him up as my selection, shouldn't I? Because
I'm actually, you made such a compelling case.
Yeah, I've made such a compelling case. To be a shame not to get him in. It might be next week till I see maybe what is happening. Get trailer updates and that kind of thing. I will give you a clue. My selection is not in handicaps this week. But let's go, Andrew, because we are against the clock. We won't go through all our selections for this episode. I'll tell you what, we will. Go for it. We'll get it done. Go to your selections.
Yeah,
Quick thoughts.
Yeah, look, these, like, it's probably a half and half book at this stage. Nasalam 25-1 for the Triumph Hurdle, probably up against. He's still 25. Wide receiver 25-1 any race. look, we've got to assume at the moment that Gordon's horses are going to run. I believe we've just got to adopt that attitude. Look, he's going to run in the Martin Pipe wide receiver. The weights are coming out on Wednesday, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see what he gets. Chacon Poursois 92 for the Champion Chase. Grand. Latest exhibition 16-1 for the Brown Advisory. Hopefully he'll run into a place if he does. Delvino and Dusart you can rule out. Brave Man's Game 16-1 for the Ballymore. Still very sweet on that. And he's actually drifting out to a good price now. He's 9-2, which is just too big. Run Wild Fred 10-1 any race. Again, eyes on the handicapper there. Hopefully he sneaks into the Kim Muir. If he gets into the Kim Muir, I think he wins it. It came to pass 12-1. He went out to 14-1 for a second after his run last week. He's now back into 12-1. I wouldn't be concerned at all. Maxine O'Sullivan barely breathed on him. He won the Fox Hunters last year, having pulled up in a point-to-point in January on heavy ground. Just needs nice ground, and I think at the moment, the way things are going, he's going to get that at Cheltenham. Still think he's got a massive chance. Aramax at 20-1 for the Grand Annual, not entered, so he's a non-runner. Ellie May 12-1 for the Mayor's Chase. That looks good. Captain Guinness 20-1 for the Oracle. I still think he's going to run into a place, but that's probably heart over head. Kashari 25-1 for the Carl Cup. This has been well supported. Again, eyes on the handicapper. I think he's got a very good chance.
A nice, just come in there very, very, very quickly. Danny Mullins on the podcast last week gave a nice little. He sounded coy on Kashari, so keep going.
Yeah, hopefully so. Anyway, decent price at 25s. Black Tears for the Mayor's Hurdle. She won the Covega Hurdle earlier today. She'd need to brush up her jumping a bit, but I think there's a lot of non-runners. I think she's got a massive each-way chance. And last week was a Jas at 17-2 for the cross country. Now, Jason, obviously our Champ.ie colleague, he loves this at Jas. I don't know whether he's telling me porkies or not, but if you base it off what he's saying, we should all be lumping on. I think he's got a very good each-way chance.
It's a sure sign to back Easy Land. Go on.
Yeah, the three 2-pointers. Time Hill at 5-1 for the Stairs Hurdle. Happy enough. Honeysuckle 3-1 for the Mayor's Hurdle. Unfortunately, she's going to the champion. And Album Photo at 3-1 for the Gold Cup, which looks pretty safe.
Against the clock here, Andrew Blair-White. I'll make it quick. Eldorado Allen. 20-1 for the Arkle. Let's move on. McFabulous. God, he was disappointing at Fontwell, wasn't he? 12-1 for the Stairs Hurdle. Throw that out. Appreciated. 12-1 for the Ballymore. Hopefully, Willie's having nightmares about the Supreme and potentially a late switch. We've seen it happen in the past. Can't see it happening. Week 4 Champ Gold Cup. That's looking nice now at 12-1. And Nerjameen 10-1. Any race.
You might need it still.
I could need it still. Eyes on the exchange and Envoy-Allen. No, I can't see that. At the end of the day, Envoy-Allen is running, isn't he? No matter what happens or develops, like I can't see that. I can't see him not running. I really can't. So
if on the very off chance with this whole Gordon Elliott situation and Envoy-Allen wasn't to run, I think an Ergamine would 100% be in the marsh.
I'm not sure.
The marsh looks useless though. Like, why would you take on Shishkin when you know he's he's probably a 2.5 miler going forward?
Well, Andrew, the only thing I'd say is Stairs win the Arkle, and the one thing I would say about an Ergamine, he's forming a point to point, but and we spoke about this horse so much, but anyway,
but an Ergamine would win the marsh by a furlong, like.
Yeah, but he'd win the Arkle by a furlong as well. So.
Now relax.
But his jumping is his biggest asset. That's why I believe Arkle. But Kescon Risk, interesting. He hasn't. He's not out of bounds on the exchange, which is interesting for the Supreme. So 25-1. We'll have to improve a fair lot from what we've seen, but I do think he's a quality horse. So it's week 6 selection. Kescon Risk 25-1 Supreme. Now enough of the clutching at straws. Concertista 9-2 for the Mayor's Hurdle. Absolutely rock solid. And Tukas 25-1 for the Grand Annual. Could see him going off favour. He's joint favourite, I think, at the moment with some firms. Autumn Evening, throw that out, 40-1 for the Boodles. Ramillies, to my knowledge, goes to the bumper, 14-1. Look, you'd have to improve. Royal Kahala, 8-1. I think they're in two minds, aren't they, whether to go to Fairyhouse or to Cheltenham. If the exchanges were anything to go by, my bet is still very much alive. Is 8-1 for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I think she's just short at 6s with some firms. Third time lucky Supreme, 16-1. Goes county, Andrew, does he?
Apparently so, but like Josh has told me so much about this third time lucky, and he's just been brutal.
So. Anyway, I thought he was a bit of each way value for the Supreme at a point in time where I thought appreciate it was potentially too short for the race. Disappointed at Musselburgh, obviously. So look, I wouldn't be confident about that. But Grand Raw. Gavin Lynch, Andrew Blair-White. How many has he stolen on us now? 20-1 for the Coral Cup. I think he's 9s now, am I right?
Yeah, that looks a very good pick. I'd be disappointed between Gramois and Kashari if we haven't got something very close in the Coral Cup.
The Coral Cup, what are the chances of all races? Brinkley, 16-1 for the Pertemps. We'll have to wait for the weights. I think he's a nice horse. 14-1 Torygraph, a lovely bet in as short as 8. So we got a nice bit of value on him. So hopefully, fingers crossed, all goes well. There, 6-1 for She Wears It Well Gone. That's a wild card. Monkfish 3-1 rock solid for the RSA. Can't see this horse beaten at Cheltenham. Can't see him beaten for the next 2 seasons. At Plutard 9-1 at Cheltenham for the Gold Cup. So between Champ and him, I'm very confident I can take Andrew Blair-White down an album photo going for his 3rd Gold Cup in a row. It just doesn't happen, Andrew Blair-White. Horses do not win Gold Cups 3 times. Controversial. Let us know down below what you think. Now, selections. We're going to make this as quick as possible, Andrew. In 3 sentences, who's your selection? What price is he, and why will he win?
Yeah, look, a race I've already got a non-runner in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I've actually put this horse up myself on my own channel at a slightly bigger price, but I'm really cottoning on to Glens of Antrim in this race. You can still get 16-1. There is 20-1 out there, but it's only with one bookie.
Thought she'd win the Martin Pipe. Go on.
So she's 16-1. Best price for this challenge anyway. I think she's got a massively good chance. Second to Statler at Christmas time when it may be a little bit soft in the finish. A second point, Mr. Incredible, which was maybe a little bit disappointing again, though she's a bit soft in the finish. Her jumping could do with improvement, but I think the 2 miles on the new course at Cheltenham, only 2 hurdles in the last 7 furlongs. She stays 2 miles very well, 2.5 maybe stretches her a little bit. She's definitely going to go for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle based off Willie Mullins' last stable tour. I just look at the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. There's a couple of horses at the top of the market trained by small trainers, and it looks to be that it's a big hack to get these horses over. So I love Royal Kahala. I'd love her to win it, but I'm not sure whether she's going to go over. I'm very coy on whether Rosie's Hollow is going to go over or not. I don't think they are. And I don't think there's much left in the race, to be honest. So Glens of Antrim at 16-1, I think, is a pretty decent bet in the Mayor's Novice.
Interesting. There's lots of horses been touted for that, isn't there? Hook Up as well for Willie Mullins in the last week has been well spoke about. Now, I can't stop myself, Andrew. Just going to say it. Looking at races that we haven't put up horses, like I'm looking at Soaring Glory, and I might well still go for it in the next 2 weeks, because we are going to have a bonus episode, Andrew. Going to announce that here now for the Monday before Cheltenham. So for all the viewers who support us, we're having a bonus episode. We're doing the 7 weeks, and we're going to do a bonus episode, so 18 weeks. But coming on to my horse for week 16 of the challenge, cannot stop myself. I haven't picked a horse in the Champion Hurdle yet. I've done full circle on the horse, rated 164 now. Did you believe it, Andrew Blair-White? Goshen, just a 1 point, 4-1. It's still available. Probably still will be available. He might potentially drift and come back in on the day. Who knows? But I liked them. I liked them at the start of the season. I liked them last year. How impressive would he have been? Would he have been a more impressive winner than our Connor? This season, there was genuine reasons, wasn't there, for what had happened. It's whether you're willing to forgive him totally off the back of one exceptionally good performance at Wincanton. Okay, yeah, it was on heavy ground. The race potentially maybe fell apart a little bit. I just think he's really good. I think he is back to his best. I think we can say that. It's whether he can maintain that level and come to Cheltenham and put in a similar performance. Rated 164 now. I think he'll give the mares an awful lot to think about, and I just think he's an exceptionally good horse. He was my Champion Hurdle horse at the start of the year. I actually backed him at 6, so he's 4-1 now. I've forgiven him, Andrew Blair-White. I'm putting him in the team. I think it's a solid bet for that race at this point in time. I think of the bigger prices in there, maybe Aspire Tower could potentially run a huge race. Also a juvenile from last year. I think he has improved this season, but I think you're going to put him in the team. So yeah, 4-1. I don't think I know. He's in the team at 4-1. Andrew Blair-White. Goshen is my selection for week 16. Let us know what you think below. We've 2 more weeks left of the Road to Cheltenham Challenge. Trying to get more solid selections in there. And yeah, look, fingers crossed over the next couple of days that things work out for the better of racing, and that a lot of this negative or this doom and gloom, I suppose, that's been surrounding the sport over the last 2 days can clear somewhat, and we can look forward to a fantastic Cheltenham Festival. But Andrew Blair-White, that's been a pleasure for episode 16. I've enjoyed this one. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so down below. Stay putting in your feedback. As I said, we've another 2 episodes, so a bonus episode the Monday before Cheltenham. And yeah, so we'll see you next week, guys.